Hi everyone, Eric at FMLS here, wanting to kind of address a question that we get every once in a while, which is how do I get notified when a property I'm interested in comes on the market? So there's a pretty easy way to do this, and I want to show it to you. So notice that I'm here in Matrix already because of course the question was how do I get notified when it's on the market? Well, when it comes on the market, it's a listing, so we need to do a search for that listing. So in Matrix, hover over search, and of course you've got your standard property categories, residential, lease, etc. But what I would recommend, if I could give you just a little piece of advice, you have to kind of read that listing agent's mind or that homeowner's mind. And so even though if you drive by this property, it might be a single family residence, are they going to put it up for sale? Are they going to put it up for rent? Did they build some walls and now it's a duplex? Who knows? So what I would recommend is when you hover over search, rather than picking a specific property category, I would go to cross property and then choose quick under cross property. What you're going to see here are all of the different property categories it could potentially go into. So select all of them over on the left. That way all your bases are covered as to which category it might get listed under. And also, speaking about covering your bases, a little bit further down than that you have your statuses. It's not horribly uncommon for a property to come on the market and then almost immediately go into pending or have some kind of status change, maybe by the time you get back home from getting this notification we're going to set up. Could be in some other different status. So just like we did with the property categories, opening that up to cover our bases, we're going to do the same thing down below. Now I'm going to go ahead and say some of these would make more sense than others. So clearly I would have a check mark next to active. Pending is definitely something I would check, like I was talking about. It could go into pending 5 minutes after they put it in as active. Expired probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it's got to be overnight to do that, so I wouldn't worry about expired per se, unless of course maybe you couldn't get to the notification more than a day later. So just kind of think about what you've got here, but what I would recommend is active, pending. Again, same thing, it wouldn't go into closed immediately unless it was a lease, I suppose. Anyway, I'm getting kind of into the weeds here. I apologize for kind of free thinking this. But again, that's just kind of the point here. Think about what statuses you want. The two that I would recommend against, I would not necessarily put checks next to hold or coming soon, because if they're using that coming soon status or if they're temporarily off market, the system is not going to necessarily email those out. Those particular statuses are really meant for kind of a work in progress. So it's not something that's going to share with clients, and the Matrix system is not going to treat you differently on an email than it would a client in this regard. And you'll see what I'm talking about there in a minute when we get there. But in any event, I would recommend at least active and pending. Okay. So now that we've kind of thought about what statuses we want, opening up our property categories just in case, the time has come to tell this search exactly what property we're looking for. So over to the right of the property categories, we have the street number, street name, etc. So let's just pretend I'm looking for a property at 12 Johnson Street. Well, the street name I might do asterisk Johnson, asterisk perhaps. Okay. And if you don't know about the asterisks, by the way, watch the Matrix Mechanics webinar or take the Matrix Basics class. If you can, you'll learn about the asterisks there. But at this point, to kind of move on, look down in the bottom left corner here and see that there are currently 0 matches. That's exactly what I expect. This house is not on the market yet. I think it's going to be coming soon. Right? So do not let the fact that you have 0 matches right now be the end of the road. Go ahead and click results, And of course, again, we have 0 matches. There's nothing to look at here. But do like you normally would do when you set a client up with a search. Go over to Save, click New Auto Email, enter yourself as the contact. Down below in the schedule, if you check off ASAP, that means that within about 15 minutes of that listing coming on the market, you'll receive an email notification. So just save that when you're done, and off you go. Notice that there's a red phrase here. I just want to point this out for a second. Criteria have been modified to conform with policy. And that talks right above the line there that's in red. It says status is not one of incomplete or coming soon. That kind of goes back to what I was talking about, how coming soon status, off market, incomplete. These are statuses that are not eligible to be sent via email. So it's just kind of letting you know, like, hey, I'm not going to send you those that are not eligible. So don't worry about that. I know it's in red, and so you might be kind of freaked out about that, but don't worry about it. Just set yourself up, set it as ASAP. Like I said, that way within about 15 minutes, you'll get an email. And there you go. You've got a notification of that property you're interested in when it comes on the market. Any questions, of course, you can contact our customer service department at 404-255-8660, option 1. They're available Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, and Saturday, 9 to 5.